not as good as, say, working at a pizzeria per se. Skip the dishes doesn't pay couriers. What do you think about that? That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? I mean, skip the dishes skips on paying couriers. I kind of like this one. This is very blunt and straightforward. Don't deliver for skip the dish. Yeah, I want to know which sign you like the most. Okay, just post comments below.
Hello, how are you? This is Daryl Kramer here, and I would like to talk about something that happened, an incident that occurred over the weekend regarding the Canadian multi-restaurant delivery conglomerate. I don't know how the business is set up, but called Skip the Dishes, based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I've been working with them for about a month, and I was a bit suspicious of the first week and my account number and everything that was set up, and the account number was not my personal account, but it was one of my accounts nevertheless, with a with a certain with a certain bank which shall remain nameless. And I was waiting for the money to come, and I didn't know where the money was being deposited. I called up, and I was suspicious of something. It was a certain business that showed up with my profile, and I wasn't sure what that was all about, because I read about this company, and this company was known as a company that was known to scam people. It was a tech support company, I think perhaps based out of India. So, anyway, uh, I was waiting for the money, and I was waiting, and I couldn't find the money. I couldn't find out where the money was deposited. So, I waited, I called, and I asked. Well, first, beforehand, I changed the account number to my personal account. Okay, and sure enough, quickly I could see the money was being deposited. But still, the initial payment that I was paid, and wasn't it wasn't a high amount of money. And I spoken with other people, and people just kind of looked at me like I was crazy with the amount of money it was. But anyway, nevertheless, I still didn't see the money deposited from the first week. Okay, so I just, I called, and I looked, and I showed them all my accounts, and I gave them all my private information of all my accounts and so forth. And it was every one of my accounts except for one. Okay? And I went over to a bank. It was a specific bank which shall remain nameless, based out of the Cleveland, Ohio area in the United States. And what happened was, I looked, and sure enough, I couldn't see the money there. And I said, "No, there's no money. I showed you everything, and the money is not available. The money is not there." But then I was thinking, "Oh, okay. I found out the checks where I got the account number and ABA number, or routing number, and I noticed it was not from one of my personal accounts, nor was it from my business account, or one of my business accounts, which I have. I have a few business accounts. It was from a I don't need to get into details, but it wasn't the specific business account. Okay? So, anyway, I was I was a bit concerned, but I still didn't see the money nevertheless. So, I was concerned. I called the bank, and I found out that this people from Skip the Dishes called me, and they stated that, oh, okay, we don't, the money is deposited, or they claimed that the money was somehow put into somebody else's account. Okay, but I still waiting. I didn't see it visible anywhere, and I just wanted my money. I just thought it would be great to have my money, however small it was. Okay, so all right, I still didn't see my account, but then what happened was I called up somebody, and there was this one man at this Cleveland, Ohio based bank, which shall remain nameless, that noticed that this account was from where the account came from. And it wasn't like an ordinary checking account, but it was an account of mine, nevertheless, where deposits were able to be made. Okay? So I thought, okay, it's probably in that account then. It's in the account. And then later on, I called the bank a few times and I asked. And I actually went into a branch and I asked one of the people working at the branch politely, okay, is there any money deposited in this account? So I showed them the account and she said, oh, I don't know. No money here. I don't know. But we don't know this number. Well, obviously it was a number that I had and was one of my accounts, but she knew nothing of the number and she said, I don't know, it could be from this and that. But she was very vague about if the money was deposited or not, or where the money was. She just acted as though it was just an account, which it obviously could have been for some bank, but I mean, I know how banks work. It's all numbers are linked with a specific bank. All right. So, continuing on, I know then that's when I decided to take course of action. I was a bit angry, perhaps overreacted just slightly, because I've heard much. I was concerned about this tech support company, which I have worked with in the past, which I was very suspicious of, and I thought perhaps the information, because they got into my files, they did like a remote check of my files in the past, and I thought that somehow perhaps my computer was hacked and there was some type of virus that perhaps took one of my accounts and somehow was able to funnel or transfer the money into some account the account of this company that I was familiar with, which shall remain nameless. And anyway, so I decided, okay, the money is not there. They said, so there's no money. I heard it, and I said to one of the people at Skip the Dishes, one of the courier reps, I guess you can call, or courier service reps. And I said, I heard it straight from the horse's mouth. I didn't get, according to how this vague response from this woman, it seemed as though she didn't want to get into specifics because of legal matters, perhaps. I don't know, but it was quite strange. It seemed like this woman was kind of unfamiliar on how to access the information. But it seemed as though it was strange. It just seemed quite bizarre. So I decided, okay, I heard it straight from the horse's mouth. I got a little angry. I used names like, but you're probably a little bit more harsh than calling somebody dork or jerk or something like that. Like a female dog. But I wasn't calling a dog that. I called a woman that. Okay, and she definitely wasn't a female dog. She was from the sound of it, she seemed like just a regular, ordinary female, like you see every day. Okay? So, I was angry. I was upset because I thought I wasn't getting my money, and I thought that company, this company that was based out of India, perhaps based out of India where they had their techs, or I don't know, or maybe they outsourced these tech people from in India. They were maybe they figured out a way by hacking into my computer of somehow taking my money, or maybe through identities of taking my money and taking it out and putting into their account offshore in India, perhaps. So I was very suspicious, and I wondered because the I called Skip the Dishes, and I brought that to their attention. What is this company? Do you know what this company is? And some of them said, I know what it is, and others said, oh no, I don't know. And some of them suggested that, oh, I should call my bank about it. And I don't know. I was uncertain. I was scared because I mentioned to them, and I thought that may have been crucial, and perhaps the reason why the money was not visible to me. So I called up Skip the Dishes many times because I was angry. I was very upset. I called. I perhaps called. I called countless amount of times. I don't even. I can't even remember. But it was a lot. Several times. And I was demanding my money a million times over, and I just kept on repeating myself. Okay, I was often crying, pouting, whining, complaining, yelling, shouting, and so forth. So, anyway, then I called and so forth, and then by the time Monday came, I called my bank again, and the bank passed the buck on a bank, once again, a certain bank which shall remain nameless, based out of the Cleveland, Ohio area. And they suggested that I call customer service. So I called customer service once more, and I took out the checkbook, which I found the routing number and ABA, rounding number and or ABA number that I used the initial week. And once again, they said, no, there's no money in this account. There's no money that was deposited in this account from Skip the Dishes or anywhere in the world. Okay, so I thought, oh boy, there's still no money. There's still money. They're working on it. They're investigating, but the money's not there. I don't know. Maybe some tech support company in India probably has that money, and it's just basically is just a money vacuum and just sucks the money out of any unsuspecting victim anywhere in the world who is assuming they're getting computer tech support. For all I know, I don't know. So, okay, afterwards, then I decided to go to the bank, and I spoke to a man there who seemed to be the only man in the whole bank that actually knows. And granted, I'm not a big guy. I'm not like a special bank. I'm no Rockefeller, okay? So I can understand where they're coming from. They've got bigger fishes, in the sea over there in this bank, okay? So I went there, and I once again I gave him the numbers again, and initially he added them into the computer, and he said, "Oh no, there's nothing here." And then what happened is underneath a white screen, or I don't know, like our window or something like that, or display, he went underneath, and it was sort of like a, how can I say, old black screen in like old, pre-Windows stage. I forget what it's called, DOS or something like that. In pre-Windows stage, it stated had the money, and sure enough, it was there. What was the day? It was on January 20th of this year, 2017. Sure enough, the money was there that they owed me from that initial week. And I looked at him and I said, and this man was the initial guy that noticed this, that detected it was one of a specific account, okay? So then I said, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. I've been talking on this phone, talking to these people from Skip the Dishes, and I accused them of not paying me my money multiple times. I mean, countless amount of times, over and over and over again. No, just totally unabashed and just mercilessly, just constantly saying, I want my money, I want it now, I want it today. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I was upset. I was totally angry, totally livid. And I wanted, no questions asked, I wanted my money as soon as possible. And I was even went so far as to ask him to send it via Western Union. So I said to the man, he's a good guy. He should. I hope someday he gets promoted to, the head office, or maybe at the head of the area, or the branch manager, or whatever. Because this man did a great job, and he was a stand-up guy. And I told him, you know what? Either you or somebody else representing this bank has got to call them and give them an explanation, because I was on the phone constantly begging them to give me my money, and it was there for the past 2 weeks. So I said, and I was upset, and he said, calm down, please. And I said, I explained to him, I know it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault. You're the first guy. You're the man to notice this, okay? You were the man to notice it, so it's not your fault. You were the only guy in the whole bank, probably, that knew about this, right? So, sure enough, while I wasn't in the office, he actually called one of the managers at Skip the Dishes, and he said he left a message, and hopefully he contacted him with the explanation. And I called, and the man that was the manager at Skip the Dishes said, yes, I received a call from the man from this Cleveland based bank, which shall remain nameless. And I wanted to ask if he'd actually spoken with him, because what I thought was the horse's mouth was not the horse's mouth, and this man represented, I guess you could say, the horse's mouth, perhaps. And I was upset. I received emails, and they were telling me, oh, in the emails it stated it was sent to another account because you didn't give the right numbers. But I did give the right numbers nevertheless. However, it wasn't the wrong account. It was my account. Okay, it was sent to my account. So, I guess, mission accomplished, okay? So, anyway, my course of action is I'm sorry to say, I bought the guy who helped me out with this, with finally discovering the money, which a bank should know, obviously a bank should know where your money is. A financial would not lose track of your money. So I was kind of alarmed about it, but at least he found it, and I thanked him. I bought him a 6-pack of root beers. Great root beer. Saranac root beer. Wonderful. Fantastic, okay? Great root beer out of New York State. And I just set it on his table, and I walked away as a way of thanking him. And now, as far as Skip the Dishes is concerned, I'd like to apologize for the misunderstanding, and what I said about skip is some of the things I said about it still holds true, but I know you guys over there at Skip the Dishes, Joshua, I can't remember his last name, Simair or something like that, CEO and all the staff over there will be able to work it out and will quickly develop more efficient ways to help couriers earn money and deliver their food in a timely manner. And I'm very sorry. And anyway, I'd just like to say goodbye and I wish all the best to all my Canadian friends up in Winnipeg and around Canada. And I'm very sorry. Goodbye.